What will a colony on Mars look like in the year 2093? What type of music will we dance to in outer space? What does a real extraterrestrial look like? These are questions that space artists will answer next on Inside Space. Hello, I'm Bill Mooney. This week on Inside Space, we'll meet some of the greatest artists in the universe. We'll take a peek at our viewers' home-brewed space videos, listen to this thing called filk music, and we'll journey to the Arctic to witness a spectacular light show in the sky. Can you imagine how the universe would look if an all-star cast of artists created it? Okay, Picasso would do Neptune. You know, he went through that blue period. Well, Jackson Pollock could do the galaxies. His specialty was splattering anyway. And Andy Warhol, hey, forget about soup cans. He would have been great for the face on Mars. Long before there were computer databases, long before books, even before the invention of writing, there were the songs. Singers were our historians, our teachers, our memory banks. Why should it be any different in the future?
They said it was impossible 100 years ago. Out in the starfield there's freedom from the well of gravity and time affects its speeds. F.T.L. F.T.L. is up again, H2O, energized.
They want to go. That's the message underlying the space songs these people make up and sing to each other. It's called science fiction folk music, or filking for short. And it's become an institution at SF conference conventions. One night shall be spent sitting round in what they call a bardic circle, howling at the moon.
For you, that little star's oh so far away, and chemical propulsion just will not save the day. We can release you from that hibernating spell. We'll be there in an hour if we use F.T.L. Let's hear it! F.T.L. is up again, makes you want to boil.
Filk music is a living art. Songs grow and change as new verses are added. Anyone and everyone can contribute. Most folk songs are fun.
And we'll be there in no time if we use F.T.L.
But some are deadly serious. Imagine yourself a slave working for a mining company on the moon.
Come all you poor gold miners, good news to you I'll tell, of how at last the Union has come up here to dwell. Remember how we came here, the company paid our way, but then they charged us for the ride and docked it from our pay. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
When a folk song has matured, it's offered to concert audiences.
Are there any biochemists in the audience? Now, we'd been careful of what we ate, so we didn't take no harm. But the boss and his bully boys all keeled over while the coffee still was warm. We dragged him out to the old mine shaft that was dug before the war. And we dropped him down there with all the others who tried that trick before.
Songs can be totally original, or in the grand tradition of folk music, new words can be put to old melodies. But in folk song, the distant past can come together with a far future.
What do you say? What do you see? Night fights in zero G.
As we migrate to the stars, it's good to know that the really important things won't be left behind.
They call it the art of the bard. And here to share some of that craft with us on Inside Space is singer, songwriter, poet, and activist Leslie Fish.
Hi, Bill. Good to be talking to you.
You know, Leslie, I write and play music, and I listen to many different styles of music, but I must admit that this filking stuff is new to me. Is science fiction music filking, is this a new thing?
Now, science fiction folk music has been around for, well, nearly as long as fandom. The first science fiction songs were sung mostly at parties. They were parodies, like Young Man Mulligan or 99 Bottles of Beer on the Wall, only with spaceships instead of bottles of beer. And gradually, a body of song began to be built up that a lot of people knew. And we still do. It's tradition that at least one night of a convention, we sing around until dawn and then go to breakfast together, and then go collapse.
Are filk singers trying to predict the future, like, I guess, modern-day prophets?
Well, if we're prophets, we're certainly trying to make the prophecy self-fulfilling. Prophets, propagandists, we want to go there, and we're singing about the glories and the hopes and the possible dangers and the adventures and all the changes that can come to us as a result.
I attend a lot of different science fiction conventions around the country from time to time, and I know that sci-fi folk like to behave pretty outrageously sometimes. Why do you think that is? And are you one of these outrageous sci-fi folks?
I have no objection to a bit of freaking the mundanes. It tends to shake up their spinal cords and widen their horizons to make them think a little bit more and break out of stereotypes. After all, after seeing Darth Vader come swashbuckling down a corridor with his lightsaber swinging, you're going to be a little more tolerant of some kid playing with a cap gun. After all, if we can tolerate people with blue skins and antennae and 12 arms, you know, what does it matter if the neighbor next door is black or Spanish or whatever? You've seen much more alien than that.
Leslie, does it ever feel weird to you to be singing about advanced futuristic technologies while you're playing a style of music which is centuries old?
Well, if you stop and think about it, the good old acoustical guitar has managed to stand the test of time. The pen in the hand cannot be interrupted by power failures. And all technology needs to go through the long milling process of being used in the real world by the rich, the poor, and everybody in between in every kind of condition before you find out which of it really is worth lasting, which lasts, which is really worth keeping. I don't see any contradiction there at all. I'm part of the testing process.
Well, hey, Leslie, save me a place on your orbital transfer vehicle.
Okay, Bill.
And thanks very much for visiting with us here on Inside Space.
Thank you, and I hope to see you on the moon.
Music by Leslie Fish and other sci-fi singers is available from the Random Factors Company, and you can call them at area code 310-329-6772. Thanks for joining me on this voyage of discovery. Tune in next week as we launch into the future inside space.
And the methane's moan past the polymer clouds of the dead star shrouds. All our roads run back to the ship of stone. There the first crew all were made and wakened from a knowing sleep by the boundless sight of heaven's height and the fires on the deep. And no matter how strange the forms we wear, how warped and wild, how rich and rare, how changed we've made the seed we've sown. We are blood of those who singing rose from from the body of the ship of stone.